So the 8 elements that I would always work on with a client would start with a CRM at the heart of it. I'd then look at how we integrate their website into that CRM. So what forms do we need to create that are on the website that go direct into the CRM? So there might be a contact us form, there might be inquiry forms. The site I'm building at the moment, he's got different services, so we've got a different form on every service page. But it's literally a button that you click and it opens the form up then. It's not a form embedded on the page. They literally, yes, I'd like to get a quick quote, boom, it comes up with the information they need. The reason I connect that form on the website to here is because that form also triggers the automation on the back of it. So I know everyone who's filled in an inquiry about this service needs this automation to be triggered. And we follow them up with an email, we assign it to someone in the team, we add tags to them in the database. So that has to be connected. That can't happen by some clever web developer developing a nice looking form on the website that does nothing. It's got to trigger then my nurture. My nurture of that customer starts literally from them completing that form in. And then a nice follow-up email goes out to them. Here's some other things you may be interested in. We'll get back to you with the quote within the next 24 hours. You know, there's other things here that you might like. Have you followed us and connected with us on LinkedIn yet? So all of that happens automatically. I don't have to worry about that. Every form, the ball ache for me really has been building every automation on the back of every form he wants. But that's the integration you need. And your analytics needs to be coming in from your website into your CRM as well. So you can see, yes, we're generating 600 visitors a month. It's turning into this many leads in my CRM. So your website's a key part of your system. So don't think about your website as a separate thing. It's really your shop window, as you know, Nathan. It's what people will go to when they're researching you. Even before they reach out to you, they'll be on your website researching you. They'll be on your social media looking at you. So that is a key element, but it must be a lead conversion tool. Like I just said, it must trigger automations. It must get people into your CRM as leads. It must nurture them nearly all the way down till they're ready to speak to you personally. You've then got your admin and your comms tools. So can I integrate Outlook with it? Can any of my communication tools that I use in the business, Facebook Messenger is one that integrates into ours, Google calls, you can have phone lines coming into here as well. So your comms tools, you can set phone lines up now that come in. You can have AI people answering your phones for you and taking people's details. So all of that, again, is very easy using technology nowadays to make happen at scale. So Paul's problems about, I can't answer the phone because I'm out working, will just disappear if you get some of these systems set up. It'll do a lot of the hard work for you. Your marketing tools, obviously we've gone through a lot of the marketing tools you'd need, but that would include email marketing, it include running paid ads, it include landing pages, forms, calls to action, social media management. All of the things that you need to manage from a lead gen and a marketing point of view should be in your system somewhere. And then that leads onto your sales tools. So that sales process, having a pipeline, being able to easily create appointments for people on their terms though. So mine will say, here's my diary, book in when's convenient for you, you know, rather than me saying, oh, I'm free next Monday at 3 o'clock. It'll actually give people a full look at my diary and they'll be then able to book in when they can see my gaps. So calendars, tasks are really important for sales teams as well. Make sure that the next task that has to happen, the ability to produce quotes, Paul, is a really important sales thing. You know, it's got to be easy for you to produce a quote and get it emailed out to somebody. So all of these things have to be pulled in as a sales tool because you're generating the leads, you've got to convert them into money. Operational delivery. So this again will vary for everyone as we talked about last week, but Ash, you know, there's certain things you have happening in the factory that you can link to the system. Like we were talking about having a pipeline, like a sales pipeline, but actually once they get to the end of your sales pipeline and they order a kitchen, they then go into a production pipeline. So you can do that exactly the same with a CRM. You can automate what happens at the first stage. And then you said, well, then we'd need to order the doors here. So, you know, if you had a fitting date in mind, you could work back and say, well, 4 weeks from that date, I need this to happen. So again, operationally, people say, oh, well, no, it's a real standalone piece of software we use for operations. And I say, yeah, but there's certain things you still need to know about from a customer's point of view, because you want to keep them up to date. And the more efficient that is, the better for you. And you want to know it's happening. If there's 15 kitchens that are going on, you trying to remember that or have it on an Excel spreadsheet somewhere is hard, isn't it? So think about operational delivery. How do we deliver our core services to people, and can we automate some of that to make life easier for us? And then service and support we went through last week, the different things we need. So even down to just being able to send a survey out, being able to automatically send a Google review request out. All of those, again, are back from automations. You'd automate all of that. So when someone's order has now completed, 3 days after that, make sure this email goes out automatically to them. You know, I love the personal things John wants to do of meeting people, giving them gifts. But again, we've just got to make sure those Google reviews aren't forgotten, that we have that automatically happening in the background. Same with the survey. I'd always say, as soon as someone's happily signed off a kitchen, a survey must go out to them. You know, and we're going to dig deep on the service we did, what they'd like to have seen, everything we've talked about in the questions. Then when we get the good ones back, then it automatically triggers a Google review to go out to that person. When that Google review's gone out, we then must have a process of a task being set up for a video review or a testimonial to be asked for. So all these things will be automated and all built around service and supporting that customer.
When you had the response review on, because I was going to Google, before I even knew that I had a review, it was already done a response.
Had it? Yeah, yeah. Well, I think I've turned AI on for you, haven't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's, in our software, we've got a ChatGPT AI responder, which will pull out the person's name and it understands what they've just said.
It's done a few now and they've all been different as well, so it don't look like...
No. It doesn't look robotic, does it? No. Now, all my customers say that. They say, God, who picked this up and answered it so quickly? He says, Richard, were you on? I says, no, mate, I wasn't on there. No, I said, there's a little toggle switch that says, would you like to generate an AI review to make sure it happens quickly? And then you can even have the delay time, so it can wait 10 minutes and then put the review up. So again, it doesn't look instant. But it makes such a difference. People feel valued then if you've looked like you've got the trouble of doing that. And then your finance tools, we've talked a lot about integrating your whatever accounting software you have, whatever package you're using into your, to bring some key bits of data. You won't want all the information pulling back in from there, but there'll be certainly key bits of data that you want next to customer records or next to companies you work with, so you know how much that company's spent over the year with you. Because I'd want to know who my top 10 customers are at any one stage, because they're the ones I'd be ringing and really thanking as well, because they're going to buy more off me. You know, that guy who's bought £1,500, you want to be speaking to him fairly regularly now, don't you? You know, because you know that relationship's, it's there. We don't want to lose that. So it's also how much is our average order value we talked about in our knowing our numbers at the start. Unless you have those figures out of there, there's no way any software can work out what your average order value is. And you want that to be going up. You know, your cost of customer acquisition, so how much does it cost me to acquire a new customer? You should know that figure on a daily basis, because that should be coming down. The better you get at marketing, it should be getting cheaper and cheaper for you to get a new customer through your system. So these are little advanced metrics, if you like, but your software will tell you all that. Your finance software can tell you all that, and some simple algorithms in the CRM will give you those average order value, cost of customer acquisition, lifetime value. So this is how much this customer's spent over a lifetime. But overall, my customers, what's the lifetime value? Because again, to me, as a marketer, that's what I can really afford to. As long as my cost of acquisition is less than a lifetime value, I'm making money. So you've got to have these figures in there, because if someone buys a bedroom off you and a kitchen and then another bedroom, that's their lifetime value, isn't it? It wasn't that initial £5,000 bedroom they bought. These are figures you've got to know. And I think only by bringing your finance software back into your CRM can you ever get to that point of having a dashboard that tells you that. And your turnover, as I say, your year-to-date turnover is a big one, because you want to know, am I on track for that goal we set ourselves 12 months ago?